In 30 years' time, I think that Northwich is going to be with all electric cars, and everything will be back to normal again, and there won't be any more COVID.
I think everything's gonna fly, and if you go to a restaurant, it's gonna all the food's gonna come to you.
In 30 years' time, I think in the cinemas there's going to be flying cars, so it looks like you're flying when you're watching some sort of movie, like a Spider-Man movie in 3D.
There's gonna be floating restaurants and no corona.
I think in 30 years' time, the world will be full of robots doing road chores for us, and they will be doing lots of work, and they will be making life easier. Also, I think there will be more medicines, and that will find cures to bigger diseases such as cancer and other things that are that big.
Mood eyes that tell you your mood, and virtual schools.
In 30 years' time, I think everything will be super electrified, so we'll have electric cars, maybe flying ones, and we'll have supercomputers, things like that, and people won't be doing everyday jobs. We'll have like robots doing everything like that. So I might not be working at H&M in 30 years' time, so a robot might be doing it for me.
In 30 years' time, I bet there'll be a lot more medicines and a lot more technology. We'll be able to find a lot more, and we will have found a lot more. I think if we don't do something about all the climate change and stuff, right now everything's green, and if climate change just keeps on getting worse and worse, we might get to the point where everything just burns, it gets that hot. And I don't really want that to happen. 30 years' time, I'm hoping we can do something about pollution, and we find some sort of technology that can help us get the environment back together, and we actually do something about all that's happening right now.
I think cars would fly and shoes would put themselves on.
I think there's going to be robots and hotels that like actual hotels, and they float down the rivers, and in the zoos you'll be able to go and stroke wild animals because they'll be tamed and they won't have to be trapped in cages, because I just think it's cruel for them to be trapped in cages. So that's what I think is going to happen in 30 years.
I think there's going to be people living on Mars, online school, and 3D headset playdates.
I hope that more money is raised to the NHS, and so we can get better medicines to cure people with needs.
I think in 30 years' time, shopping will be virtual. So I think it will all be online, and it'll be over video, and it'll be instant, and I don't think shops will be physical anymore.
I think there's going to be like robot service, like if you go to a restaurant, robots are going to give you, and robots are going to help you.
I predict there will be flying cars, dinosaurs, and sustainable energy, and more electric cars in the world.
I think when we are not in the world, everything is going to be alive but kind of old.
I think that we need to raise more money for cancer research, and we need more schools in the world, because some universities are really expensive and some people can't afford them. So that's what I think for my prediction.
I think every single animal can speak to you.
I feel like that a better TV will come out in the next 30 years, and probably some stuff like more cars, that old cars will be electric, and there'll be some like oxygen cars that work on living oxygen. And
I think the cars are going to be a bit more technology, a bit more quicker, and I think computers are going to have better quality.
In 2051, what I would like to see kind of explored within the time capsule would be the pubs, or the concept of pubs. They play such an active part of community life. They bring people together from all walks of life, and they provide kind of a space for people to meet and discuss ideas and have conversations. And you know, as we maybe move into a more healthy society, you worry what role pubs have, but I think the community aspect of them kind of will most definitely be sorely missed. So for me, a pub and a general pub setting would be great to see in 30 years time.
In the future, I think it's going to be like all electric, and there's going to be like self-parking cars, and like everything's going to be green and like good for the environment.
I think that in 30 years that we'll still have to go to school and work, but we'll have robots that work for us.
There'll be more like people, and there will probably be more shops around it there and all new places.
I think the world's going to eventually turn into where robots take over and then robots run the world.
I think in 30 years' time, Northwich will have robot police, and instead of having people behind the tills, we'll have robots.
Robots are going to evacuate all the people to Mars.
In 2051, I think that people are going to have the respect that they deserve, and we'll have automatic cars that people can drive, and there might be more cars that disabled people can drive.
In 30 years' time, I think we'll be a cashless society with no cash, no cards, and we'll just have a chip in our wrist to pay for things.
I think future COVID won't be a thing anymore, and it'll be like flu, and it won't be that bad.
I hope in 30 years' time that black people will get the respect they deserve, and robots will rule the world. Well, not rule the world, but they will move stuff around for us, and hopefully the world will be a better place.
I think that iPhone 20 is going to be out and everybody's going to have an electric car, and they're going to make a device where they can turn animal speech into human speech so we can understand them.
I think that coronavirus will go away and everything will go back to normal.
I think all the robots are going to take everyone's jobs.
Well, I think that climate change is going to make a big deal on the earth. Like, certain animals will be dead, and some like places that we know and love will no longer be how they are. So like the Arctic, like glaciers and stuff like that, they'll all be gone, and we'll just have to live with COVID-19.
Also, in 30 years' time, humans hopefully will be nicer to each other and respect their differences.